Excellent. All right, Mr. Ken, thank you so much. We are ready to go. Thank you
No.
for being here.
Oh,
Thank
What
you,
what a,
everyone.
it's awesome to be here. I mean, what an electrifying night, and I love that when we prepare to come on to here, and we come together as a Team Tuck community to share our love, to share our sense of being when we come on these things here, and it gets me so fired up. So, with that being said, everyone. Greetings, 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 and welcome. I love being here with all my extraordinary fellow beings, and welcome to the season 4, the Ultimate Coach book reading extravaganza with our phenomenal community here tonight. It's a pure delight to find myself amidst a community of such remarkable souls. I'm always, always in awe of the collective brilliance that graces this space week in and week out. So, welcome, 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 welcome. So, I got a question for all of you. Are you ready? Are you pumped? Are you excited? So, with that excitement with everybody, let's initiate tonight's momentous gathering with a resounding appreciation for the inspiring duel, the authors, Amy Hardison and Alan D. Thompson. Let's show some love for these two fabulous souls. Use your emojis. We can't hear you. I'd rather hear you, but use the emojis. Let them know when they watch this replay how much love that we are giving to them for the remarkable and outstanding book they have produced for that. So now, for those who are joining us for the first time, let me tell you why we're showing so much love and enthusiasm. These remarkable individuals have invested their deepest passion and unwavering dedication into the creation of the profound book of being. And as a result of that, a powerful moment all over the world has taken hold. And joining us for the first time, you're going to experience what that movement is about tonight. Trust me and hang on. Here we go. Now, let's not fail to give a momentous shout out to our own Mr. Steve Hardison, the ultimate coach, for the incredible impact he has on all of us. So show him some love. Bring it down, bring it together, get those arms pumping, get that blood flowing. Let's show the man some love. Awesome. Way to go. Beautiful. Thank you. So while we're on a roll, let's share together our heartfelt expression of gratitude and love to our distinguished guest reader tonight. In the house with us all is Mr. Steve Shaw, all the way from the beautiful Seattle, Washington area, who's graciously accepted to lead us through Chapter 11 tonight, titled From Proctor and Gamble to Xerox. Folks, the Book of Being isn't just a regular book. It's like a journey around the world, expanding our minds and touching our hearts. It's like spreading change everywhere. And you know what it's doing? It's lighting each and every one of our lives up. That's what this profound book is doing for all of us. What's genuinely astonishing is the profound influence and the thrilling chain reaction it sparks in the curious souls who dive into this remarkable book. A book that reveals the tale of their own beings. Now, let's begin this journey tonight and bring more excitement, As we start our journey together, please take a moment and jump into the chat and let everyone know where you are in this world. I want to see how far and how fantastic this community reaches. Take a moment to go ahead and do that, please. I cannot see the chats. I apologize. I can't see where everybody's from.
It's in the 3 dots.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Chat. There we are. Up there we go. All right. India, Canada, Texas. Oh, I love this from Eric. Rockin', California, Reno, Nevada, Colorado, Florida. And for me, good old Danville, Pennsylvania. Plopped my city right dab smack in the middle of Pennsylvania. Just look it up. You'll see where I'm at. Danville, Pennsylvania. All right, so thank you all. Thank you for playing this along with me for here tonight and letting everybody know where you're from. But it isn't over yet. Going back to your chat, please tell us one thing that makes you really excited about reading The Ultimate Coach. Go ahead and share your in the chat for all of us, please. No one's excited? What's going on? What excites you? Learning about being, awakening, learning to be and being the ultimate being experience, shared experience, the changes that happen. Freedom. Awesome. Learning that these are endless opportunities for creation. How outstandingly true. Thank you all for taking a moment for doing that and sharing with everybody what this book means to you. I want us to take a moment right now and slow this down. And I want to tell you, I want to give you my heart in this moment. Before we start our reading tonight, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Your involvement in this creative space is like a beacon on our path to self-improvement. I am honored to be in this space with each and every one of you to learn and to grow in my own journey of being. All right, enough of that mushy stuff. I apologize. All right, when we're ready to begin, as Steve suggests, let's set our goal for this reading to become better versions of ourselves, to become who we are meant to be. All right, I need to take a serious moment here. We need to get serious for a moment. And before we proceed, our lawyers suggested that I must read this disclaimer statement before moving forward, or it could create a legal issue. I'm just kidding all of you. But I want you to know, here's a friendly, important reminder. While it's great and powerful thing to acknowledge others, let's keep the spotlight on yourself tonight. If you want to acknowledge someone, reach out privately to build a stronger connection with them. We want to keep this a sacred space for you to explore your personal insights and share your unique experiences. Lastly, remember that as you share, you should be sharing about yourself. When you read, immerse yourself in your own story. When you listen, be all ears to your narrative. Let's keep it intimate and genuine. Now, let's get this odyssey commenced. Let's transform this book reading tonight into a vivacious, captivating, and transformative experience for us all. So at this time, let me pass the baton over to our dear Miss Fari, who will serve as our guiding beacon on this remarkable journey tonight. Enjoy every moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Ken. I don't know what else can I say and how much better can I say after that fabulous introduction, but hello, and thank you for being here. It's a fantastic space that I don't ever want to be anywhere except here on a Wednesday night. So for me, night, because I'm in California. But what a blessing if we can start this with just a couple of breaths, taking a couple of breaths and just grounding ourselves for what we begin to start. Are you all with me on that? So let's sit up straight, have your feet down on the ground. And I just want to use your arms like wings, that they go up and they open and they go up and they come together and they go to your heart. That's going to go on with our breath. I was just showing you what I wanted you to do. So as you take a deepest breath you can take a deep breath. Inhale, lift your arms up, inhale it. As you open your arms, exhale it. And inhale, bring your arms all the way up. Palm of your hands together, bend your elbows and slowly exhale and bring your hands in front of your heart. Sit up straight. Relax your shoulders. And one last one. Inhale, arms all the way up. And open your arms wide and exhale and bring your arms down. And now open your eyes. A lovely beginning. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. What a fabulous space to be here. Yes, we're always grateful. We can't be actually enough grateful to Amy Hardison, our fabulous Steve Hardison, Alan D. Thompson, to write the book. But I always said it and I still say it. Thank you, Eric Latham, to create this space. Every single time I talk, I feel like I've got to say this or I'm not being grateful. If it wasn't for Eric's dream or intuition that he had from this, how would we be sitting together no matter how fantastic the book is? So Eric Latham, it's a blessing that I see you here tonight. I love you. I thank you for doing what you've done for me personally, being my coach and doing for this grant. So you are the best and we cannot thank you enough. This is a fabulous space we have, and we have our own wonderful, delightful Steve Shaw. I've had the pleasure of meeting him with other groups that I'm with Eric Latham, and I've seen your growth, man. You are brilliant, and I can see the book, what's done for you and I and all of us. Congratulations to you, and I hope we all get to there and plus more. So I wanted to know, with all of that, show me if you've got the book. My book is tearing it into pieces, even though I'm getting it through the Audible and all of that, but it's coming up, so that's wonderful. I'm so glad you have it all. And if not, you know, you can get it on Audible, you can get it on Kindle, and it's wonderful to have it just around and read and find out about it, that how much more you can use on that. And I have a huge request, as the lovely Ken said, please, this is a space all about you. So when you read it, read what you get out of it for you and how it serves you, and share about you, talk about you, and let's not want to acknowledge anybody else here, because this is a place of learning, it's not a place of advertising. So if I see, sadly, anybody doing that, then sadly, I have to come and stop you. So please let it be the sacred space that we've created here as a book reading for the sake of the book, not because of our own personal, whatever you can call it. I don't want to put it name. So anyhow, the book, the chapter from Proctor to Gamble to Xerox. Amazing chapter. I would love for all of us to learn about this and learn more. And I'm looking around to see, do I see a first timer here at all? Is anybody a first timer? Can you use your electronic hand that is next to the reaction and the recording on my camera, on my computer? I don't see anyone new. Do you? Ken, do you see anybody new? No. All right. Who would like to read the back of the book and the front of the book? We just want to do it as usual. MB, would you like to do that? Would you like to read the back of the book, sweetheart? If you can, if it's not too early for you. I don't hear from her. Okay. How about you, Amy? You can do it? Okay. Gurpreet, sweetheart, how about you? Yes?
We have Renata Stein has her hand up.
Oh, okay. So, Renee, why don't you read the front 2 pages before you begin? And then, Gurpreet, you can read the back of the book, sweetheart. So why don't you start first, Gurpreet? And when you finish reading, Renee, you can just go ahead and start reading the first 2 pages. And Steve, my love, the minute they finish, then you just go on and you don't have to wait. And that'd be lovely. Okay? Perfect. So, Gurpreet, go on. Let's do it.
Thank you. Okay. Please do not read this book about me. Read this book about you. Read it about being. As you read, ask yourself, who would I need to be to be a more loving person? Who would I need to be a more effective parent? Who would I need to be to create a level of confidence that is remarkable? Who would I need to be at peace with who I am? Who would I need to be fully in love with myself and my life? Who would I need to be to live the most extraordinary life I can live? I promise you that if you read this book with the intention of expanding your state of being, you will do exactly that. Your experience will be remarkable. Who you are being is everything. Loving you, be blessed, be you. Steve Hardison.
Before you begin, Steve Hardison, note, thank you for reading the back cover and the first 2 pages each time before you read this book. I never wanted to write a book, and I haven't. I never wanted to have a book written about me, but here it is. This book is a gift from my wife, Amy, who wrote it, and my friend, Ellen D. Thompson, who conducted the research and interviews on which it is based. And it's not just a gift to me, but to you too. And now you are reading it. So with your permission, I'll give you some suggestions on how to read it. You see, this isn't an ordinary book. It's not simply a biography. It's not a self-help book. It's not a literary classic. And it's definitely not a book how about to coach. In fact, it's not a book about doing anything. It's a book about being. And it's a book about you. To access this book, ask yourself these questions as you read. Who am I being as a partner, parent, or friend? Who am I being as a leader? Who am I being as a member of my community? Who would I need to be to have miracles show up in my daily life? Who would I need to be to create value in the work I do? Who would I need to be to generate a life of abundance? Who would I need to be to alter my relationship with fear? Who would I need to be at peace with my past? Who would I need to be to step powerfully into my future? Who would I need to be present as a way of being? Who would I need to be to live the most extraordinary life I can live? Who would I need to be to know that my life makes a difference? Who would I need to be fully in love with myself and my life? Who would I need to be to improve my relationships with the most important people in my life? Who would I need to be to read The Ultimate Coach and have a personal breakthrough in being wonderful me? The best about this book about you, is that it is endless. The story goes on, and it's written by your being. Loving you, be blessed, be you, Steve Hardison. Yes, remember, every time you reread this book, please read the back cover and the first 2 pages before you begin. If you do this, your experience of this book will be totally different.
Chapter 11, From Procter & Gamble to Xerox. In the fall of his junior year, Steve saw a posting in the business department at Weber State that Procter & Gamble was coming to interview. Steve was interested. Procter & Gamble was a solid company selling leading brands that were embedded in American life. It was a great organization with room for advancement. Steve thought this just might be the career path he was looking for. Steve showed up for his interview looking sharp in his suit. "So, Mr. Hardison, you're all set to graduate in May?" asked the interviewer, whom we will call Mr. Smith. "No, I don't graduate for one more year," responded Steve. "Mr. Hardison, we aren't interviewing juniors." "Mr. Smith, are you familiar with the Weber State's basketball team?" "I am not. But what does that have to do with anything?" "Mr. Smith, they start 3 juniors and 2 sophomores. Can you imagine if the administrators told the coach he had to start a senior just because he was a senior, even though it would weaken the team? There is someone in your organization that would want to hire me even as a junior." There was one person who could do that. They flew him in. He hired Steve on the spot. They offered Steve his choice of 3 territories. One happened to be Mesa, Tempe, and Scottsdale, Arizona. Steve's mom still lived in Arizona, and all of Amy's family lived there. It was an easy decision. Steve reminded Amy that they were headed to P&G's Ivory Tower. Arizona was a temporary stop. Steve and Amy and 15-month-old Stephanie relocated to Arizona. They bought a new-built house and lived with Amy's parents for a month while it was being finished. Steve would finish up his degree at Arizona State University. They were elated. Amy recalls, "I was excited all day to see how Steve's first day with P&G went." This was before cell phones. Steve walked in at 5, and I took one look at his face and my stomach dropped. Steve said, "I made a big mistake." I'm sure that P&G was a good job for the right person, but Steve loved sales. Nothing Steve did impacted how much the grocery stores ordered. That was determined by management. Steve felt like all he was doing was stocking the shelves with diapers. Steve stuck with it for 6 months while he looked for another job. The best part of the job was he could keep any of the boxes of diapers that were damaged. This was helpful because Amy and Steve had another one on the way. Steve's next job was at Safe and Sound, a mom and pop business that sold and installed alarm systems. It wasn't ideal. It was a stopgap job to get him out of P&G before it drove him crazy. Safe and Sound shared office space with another business. One day, a Xerox rep came in and pitched a copier to someone in the other business. Sitting at his desk, Steve saw and heard the whole thing. Steve thought, "That's the worst sales presentation I've ever seen." He picked up the telephone and made a call. A perky voice greeted him. "This is Jody. Welcome to Xerox." "Jody, can you tell me who's responsible for sales in your company?" Steve was transferred to Helen Herman. Steve told Helen that what he had just observed. She invited him to come down to the Xerox offices. After they spoke, Helen offered Steve a job. The environment at Xerox was fun and competitive. Most importantly, Steve was really selling. Compared to having doors slammed in his face in England, cold calling local businesses seemed like a walk in the park. Plus, Steve was working with some superb salespeople. The sales manager, Bill Breball, was extraordinary. It wasn't long before Steve was selling 20, 30, and sometimes even 40 copiers every month. The average was 5 to 10. Often, Steve led the sales team for sales that month. He was always looking for ways to improve the current system. Steve said, nearly all the salesmen would present to the office managers who were pressed against the wall to make a few $1,000 decision. I found that it was much easier to talk to someone who had the power to make a $100,000 decision. By jumping up the ladder, I could sell 10 copiers at a time. Xerox was a great experience. Steve was good for Xerox, and he was compensated for his ability. However, about 2 years later, Steve was ready to move on. It was at this time that he read a book that had enormous impact on his thinking. It wasn't the first. That honor goes to Napoleon Hill's The Laws of Success. Steve found The Laws of Success on his mom's bookshelf shortly after coming home from his mission. He devoured it. It aligned with the fundamental principles that Steve had lived for years, especially on his mission. Seeing these principles written down by someone else and designated as laws of success was eminently satisfying. This book was so significant that Steve insisted that he and Amy read it together out loud, which they did between Weber State's summer and fall quarters in 1980. In 1982, Steve's friend Rick Glauser sent him the book, How to Solve All Your Money Problems Forever, Creating a Positive Flow of Money into Your Life by Victor Bach. Amy read it first. When Steve came home from work that day, she was lit up. Steve immediately began the book. He read it multiple times. It moved Steve to the next level in understanding the power of the mind. In 1982, Steve took out an ad in the local paper. Like Steve, it was unconventional. It read simply, do you need help? Do you need some help solving a problem? Do you need someone to talk to? If so, call me, Steve. Steve's delighted in talking to a variety of people with diverse concerns and helping them. It was pure, unadulterated fun. An entry in Steve's journal dated November 18th, 1981 reads, I'm looking forward to developing a company by the name of Thought Process Incorporated, a concept in mind teaching. I think this will be big one day. I plan on setting up an office in my home for one-on-one instruction. Coaching was starting to emerge.
I was muted. I wasn't allowed, so I'm now unmuted. Well, thank you for a lovely reading. And I wanted to now ask about, oh my God, this, it says Steve decided to open his own office one day. Could you imagine? For all of us, look at what we've done before and where were we and where we are today. It's incredible. I wanted to ask Garpreet and Renee, Garpreet, sweetheart, what did you, since you read fast, did you have anything that you wanted to share from the reading? Is anything standing out for you?
My gosh, I don't believe in coincidences. So clearly it's a synchronicity. We are reading about Steve and how the coaching started to emerge. And today was the first day when I went to a BNI chapter and gave my elevator pitch as a coach. First time.
Bravo.
And I had no idea that I'm reading this book for the first time. And yeah, I mean, this book just keeps bringing wonders to me, really. So I don't think I have anything else to say more than this.
Fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Just wait and see how much more you have to say soon. We all have had that. I was 16 years old. I said, I'm going to leave Iran and I will be one day in America. Now, finally, I made it 32 years ago. And I said, I will be a very, very successful person. Look at it. I mean, it's unbelievable. We say it, we plant the seed, and we keep on going forward to that direction. That's brilliant. Thank you for sharing, my love. How about you, Renee? Would you like to share?
Sure. Since I started reading this book, it changed my life so much. And I will never forget, I started in March with chapter 7 of the last round. And most of the reading that I was here too. And since then, I have been in Wales and in Amsterdam, carrying the book of being around and getting out of my comfort zone and evolving. And I know there's more to come. And it led me to now organizing the event here in Thailand. And that is definitely out of my comfort zone, but this calling is so strong that I know this is where I have to go. And this is what I probably will do for the rest of my life. And I followed my heart several times in changing careers, from learning how to be a social worker to natural medicine to being a taxi driver, to have the finances for all of that and the time to travel and follow my heart calling to Africa, drumming, dancing. And then scuba diving. I was a scuba instructor for 13 years. And now I'm leading and guiding people through this wonderful country, Thailand, in the southern part. And I'm ready. 3 years ago, I was ready for the next career shift, starting online. So this will give me the time and the money to travel again, because then I can work wherever I am. And I know there are more opportunities, more possibilities, and more doors opening. And even if it looks like all the doors shutting down in one moment, just sitting there and following my heart and being grateful for what I reached so far and what is about to evolve for me. And I'm very excited. And embracing this uncertainty was something I struggled with my entire life. Uncertainty and not knowing what is going to be the plan. And that is where I lost a lot of my friends and family members, because they don't understand that I'm doing what I'm doing, that I follow this, being in an uncertain situation, trusting that everything will work out because I am where I need to be. As Steve went to Procter & Gamble and immediately the first day realized, no, it's not what I thought, but he followed his heart there and it was for a reason. Otherwise he would never ended up with Xerox. So I believe the same thing is true for all of us. So I surrender in the situation I'm in now, and I have my eyes and ears wide open to go from here. Thank you.
Fantastic share. Yeah, you know, when one door closes, another one opens, always. And how you talk about your friends and family, that they are not there and they don't understand you. I strongly believe it has definitely happened for me and is for many of us here. And I learned a great lesson from Steve Hardison, and he goes, not even your family sometimes is your tribe. And so be it. It's a matter of, I get more love from people in the Ultimate Coach than from my own siblings. And so be it. It's a matter of getting love and giving love. Doesn't have to be from my flesh and blood. I get so much more when I'm sharing with Tanya, with people that in here that I know. But it's our growth in there, isn't it? I strongly believe this is where we grow from. It's a grief we go through, losing the family members, not by dying, by just having that space. But look how much more you grow in life because you follow your dream, you follow your heart. It's always the case. Thank you for sharing that, my darling. Steve Shaw, bring it on, darling. What did you get out of it? What have you got to share, my love?
Just this, the power of being, the power that like you can read something and that it can move you, and just, books that can really, if your being is open to that. And I've always been kind of, searching for for something, and I wasn't always quite clear on what that something was. And it really wasn't until really coming into this group, realizing that how much my being affected everything, and I never really understood that. And knowing that, decisions you made very young, kind of just what you think of as the truth, was actually just a story, and Steve was able to adjust and see where he made a mistake. And I would see that, and I would lambast myself, right? I did something wrong or whatnot like that, and that was before. But coming here, the really knowing that the power of the mind, right? That stood out for me. The idea of like him reading that book. I want to read Victor Bach's book, now. You did get it. Okay, good. Because the power of the mind, it shaped me exactly. I had a really kind of epiphany with my father. I was at a contentious relationship, but then I realized, I read him my being statements, and then he said, Steve, I always had this, it felt like you didn't realize your potential, and always frustrated me. But hearing you now, I feel like you're at an age where most people are retiring and you're just getting started. And I've probably said this before, but that's when I realized that, and I lived my life in opposition to my father. And that was my way of being. And I had choice, and I chose that way. So in a way, I lived my life perfectly. And the idea that you can actually choose a different way of going. And it's just knowing that. And I would never have gone into self-discovery if it wasn't for this book. That's what I can tell you. So books have a lot of power with me, books, and this book especially. So that's why I was always every Sunday showing up for this. I couldn't always do Wednesdays, but always every Sunday. I got to get back to it now on here. So, but thank you very much. This has been very, and I'm really grateful to see Eric on here, because Eric has been very large part of it. I know we're not supposed to say acknowledgements, but thanks, Eric.
Eric, we can. He's the reason we're here. But
he is the reason I'm here. He invited me to come into this group. So
I think Eric is here tonight because of you. You're the special one. I know that.
Wow.
Right,
wow.
Eric? That's true, right?
Oh my God,
He's here to lift you up. But it's amazing how you're saying that. Are you complete, or am I interrupting you?
I'm complete.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure that how you said this book gave you that understanding. I cannot tell you, within the last coming up to, well, for me, 2 years, because I started reading it probably, that's August or October before it came out. I must have read and listened to this book, no lie, probably 20 times. I never saw that line in here that Steve said, the book of Victor Bock. It's The Power of the Mind, right? I never saw that before. And I got the book about a year ago, and I kept on writing. He said, you have to write down everything 5 times and 4 times. And I kept on writing. I can show you the books that is filled, and I finished it in another book. And I said, why isn't it coming through? And I thought it's to do with just writing it. Until one day I was in the gym and pumping up iron, and I was listening to it. That line came, and I put it back, put it 30 seconds back. And I kept on putting it back, and I kept on said, the power of mind. Oh, it's not by just writing it then. Oh, it's the power of mind. And I've listened to this and I've read it so many times, but I got it and that wasn't long ago. I want you to know. It was like maybe a month ago. And I read that and said, oh, so it's not with the writing. Oh, Steve is right. And I thought, why people don't call this book anything but a Bible of being? Why don't they call it Daily Bible? It's not a disrespect to anybody's religion, but as a way of being, this book to me is 1000% is the Bible of being. It's my Bible that teaches me how to use my power of my mind, how to be the better person, how to be. What did that mean before in the past? What does that mean being? And this book, every single time I read any line of it, it has this awakening, this aha moment. And I am so blessed to have met the person that introduced me the book and read the book and be here and be a support and have the book reading, which is phenomenal. So thank you for your reading. Thank you for sharing what you got out of it, Steve. That's fantastic. And having said that, I would love to invite anybody else that wants to come and share. If you have anything and you'd like to share, please use your electronic hand and let's hear you and see what you've got, and let's get educated by your learning. Well, hello, Mr. Eric Lapham. Please bring it on. How lovely to have you here.
Hi, Fari. It's great to be here. And it's great to be with all of you and such a committed group of human beings. And it's been about 2 years since the book came out. And it's just wonderful, all the miracles that have occurred and the fact that, here it is 2 years later, this book reading is happening. I want to acknowledge Team Tuck for your guys' commitment. You guys are absolutely extraordinary. And I want to acknowledge Tanya for leading Team Tuck. And there's 3 of my clients from my business that I invited to be a part of this group that are here tonight: Steve Shaw and Carol and Terry. And I'm so glad that I invited all 3 of you to be a part of this. Watching you guys' growth has just been extraordinary. And my life has changed so much since my involvement. And I'm grateful for that, and grateful for our Facebook group, and that we can plug into this book reading twice a week, and it's free. It's amazing. And I just wanted to say that. And Steve Shaw, thanks for your great reading tonight. And for everybody that's already shared and participated, thank you all. And I'll turn it back to you, Fari.
Thank you, my darling. Yes, I am so grateful to you. As I always say, whether you're here or not, I always just have to say that this space wouldn't have happened without you, and how much you've rejuvenated all of us. And God bless you for being who you are. And we're going to continue for as long as you let us continue having this book reading, definitely. So who else would like to share? Anybody else would like to share? So we can all learn from your growth and your understanding. It's a great space to talk and share. Come on, my love. Elizabeth?
All right. So I guess for me, reflecting on it is going back to that, oh, I made a mistake. And sometimes it's hard for us to really own that and step into that, and really recognizing your potential and how you can really create something different for yourself. And it just, reflecting on life, lots of things, just taking time to look back and, gee, am I at that point in life where I'm admitting to myself, oh, I made a mistake? And am I strong enough to be the person that I need to be to grow through that? And knowing that this space allows me that opportunity, and this book gives me the ability to be the person who I want to be. And it's essentially like a manual, like a how-to for dummies. Like, it's an amazing, amazing tool for each and every individual to have in their, toolbox. So yeah, that's what was coming up for me. It's like, who do I need to be, right? Who
Mhm.
can I be? What do I want to be? What do I want to create? And recognizing that potential is there for each and every one of us, no matter if we made a mistake. It's okay. We create what
Mm,
we want tomorrow.
definitely. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing, my love. Just like I said, you didn't want to say you made a mistake. I was always like, my God, do I make a mistake? Never. What would I confess it? Well, hell no. No, because I am in my head, I'm flawless. But it was when I learned that I have to say yes and confess I made a mistake, I realized that is my growth. And that's when I stepped into my being. Who am I being truly? By saying, yes, I made a mistake. And that's fine. I'm learning from it. And that was my growth. And that's when I realized I am being the truthful person to myself by admitting that I made a mistake. Life goes on. Live and learn, isn't it? Thank you, my sweetheart. All right, Renee, yes, please.
Thought just crossed my mind listening to Elizabeth. This book is probably the missing instructions manual that we not get when we were born into this life.
Very well said. That's right. All right. Gurpreet, yes, sweetheart.
I think so. What's coming up for me is when I, at least until the time as I go back and look, as far as I can remember, I always thought I was doing everything wrong. So it was always, kind of a flip for me where everything was wrong about me, everything was wrong that I did, my existence was wrong, everything was wrong. And later in life, as the time kept passing by, and I say my transformation really started 12 years ago, I started seeing how actually I was collecting different pieces of the puzzle and finishing the puzzle. And my heart was, gosh, I'm gonna cry again. My heart was actually guiding me, all this time, even though I never trusted myself. But I think the biggest challenge for me today, I was walking and I was listening to TOB, LIT, NFL, and I was wondering, how can I always seat this state of being with me in my heart every single time, every single second of my existence going forward? And I struggle with that. I forget. When I remember, I become so powerful. It's unbelievable. But I don't know how I can always be in that. I do lose it. I'm gonna be honest. And I wish I could just be there.
Well, my love, you and I both, we're only human and we're just growing and learning, isn't it? All I can say, just keep on reading the book, keep on listening to the book, this book. Been through it that many times. I'm totally saying that and I say that courageously, out of experience of reading it for that many times and sitting and resonating with it. Oh, but the other day I put the Audible on and I did my yoga. And then I really realized it was hour 50 minutes. I did yoga because I was listening to the book and I was going through the motion. And I thought, wow, it resonates in many, many different ways. I used to cry before a lot, but now I don't cry. I just It's like when you're thirsty, desperate, and you drink the water and you say, oh, it feels so good. But if I give you a hot tea when you're thirsty, it's not going to be satisfying. And when I listened to that whilst I was moving, it felt so home. Repetition of this book. It's a massive door opening. And I say that because I'm a workout queen. So especially when you work out or when you walk or whatever you do, no matter what, I wish I could take it with me under the water when I was swimming and doing that. So it's a blessing to use this book in each and every way that you can. And then you see these layers like onions, the layers are opening and we get to the core of our being, that is that being. And I'm still working on it to get there. Not even there halfway. It's a work in progress, you know? So congratulations, my love. Keep up with the good work. Daniel, yes, sweetheart, bring it on.
Thank you, Fari. Thank you,
Yeah.
everyone. And Fari, by the way, there are some cool waterproof earphones, a little thingy that you can actually take it with you swimming. I go out on the paddle board with it.
I
we can talk
had
about
one, it broke, and
Oh.
they said you can be swimming with it under the water.
Okay,
So
well, we could talk separate.
we'll talk
I'm
about
happy
it.
to
Yes,
share
let's
one.
do that. Yes, definitely.
So this chapter I love, and a couple things come to me with it. One is that a few months ago, I was going full speed into a business that we could call a opportunistic business. It was good business, serving people, totally ethical. It had so much promise to make a lot of money, and that's why I was going into it, was to make money. It was not part of my sole purpose or my mission. And it completely bombed. Like months of work, like a lot of hard work and effort and smart work I put into this, and it just didn't work. And so I was like scratching my head. That's why there's no hair. Like, why is this not working? And so it kind of feels to me like hearing Steve like, wow, this was a mistake. This was, you know, the God's denials are not God's delays are not God's denials kind of thing. That didn't work prompted me to say, all right, no, it's because I need to get back to what my soul mission is, which kind of synchronistically led me to the Book of Being. And one of the things that's been happening for me since getting into it is in my own coaching work, I've been attracting a different, I don't know, caliber level of client, which has at times felt almost scary, like exciting, but also scary. Like, oh, how am I going to serve them? And I love this twist on the typical business advice, which is, you know, what do we hear? Under promise, over deliver. Though for me, that's flipped around recently to over promise and over deliver, right? Like, and you know, that clarity and confidence that Steve had when he first opened the office in the coaching business, even though it wasn't called that, like, this is going to be big someday. Yeah, I don't know. I think back to a time I was working on this strange psychic fair thing, traveling around Spain and Portugal, working with a group of chain smoking witches. And I was doing readings. And one day this Brazilian woman who didn't speak English and barely spoke Spanish, so we kind of limped through in Spanish. She threw snail shells, and she was like super scary to me. She came in and asked me to do a reading for her. So of course I said yes, but I was just like, what am I going to do? And that was kind of where I like first learned a principle that has become important to me, which I got to actually sort of define and make part of my document recently. And the statement in my document is, spirit moves through me and we always deliver powerfully. I am that spirit moves through me and we always deliver powerfully. So that's like, I keep coming back to that every time I have a moment, and there've been quite a few lately where I've promised something that then my small self goes, dude, how are you going to deliver on that? That's like, you don't know you can do that. And then I come back to go, oh, because spirit moves through me and together we can deliver powerfully. So, it's like, for me, there's so many chapters that have this, but for me, the lesson that I see with Steve so often, somebody I heard describe it as pathological certainty. I would call it more as enlightened certainty, like knowing that anything is possible, knowing that we are as big as the universe. So of course we can do anything we put ourselves to. So that's like, I don't know. That didn't all occur to me the first few times I went through this chapter, though hearing it from Steve's awesome reading this time just provoked that for me, that enlightened certainty and belief. So it's inspiring, fun, cool. I am complete. Thank you. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, my love. That's excellent. It's a matter of growing all the time, isn't it? Learning and growing and sharing and giving and loving. Good for you. Tanya, oh, wow. Yes, ma'am. Bring it on.
Thank you, Fadi. Thank you. So tonight, something really stood out to me. First, my question that really stood out to me was, who do I need to be to step powerfully into my future? And a part in tonight's reading where Steve had said, I found that it was much easier to talk to someone who had the power to make $100,000 decision. By jumping up the ladder, I could sell 10 copiers at a time rather than just worrying about selling one for 3,000. And so it really had me thinking, and it had me thinking about the main theme of how to solve all of your money problems. And it's really about bringing your subconscious thoughts to your consciousness. And so if we all have a document, whether we've created it or not, but we have a document that we're living by of our subconscious thoughts that are controlling us, in answer to when Gurpreet said, I don't know how to bring me back, right? When you're like hyped up with the TBO, LIT, NFL, but then all of a sudden you get lost in your thoughts of limitation or lack thereof. And so I can really relate to that. I can really resonate with that, Gurpreet. And it was hearing you say that the answer was easy for me to answer. And so it was like, wow, okay, it's the document. It's really about being more present with my document that I created to anchor me back into who I am and who I create myself to be when I feel like I'm a little insecure or, and I start to allow those subconscious thoughts to take over. And so tonight it was so clear to me. And I just want to thank all of you who are present and everyone who is consistent and committed, all of Team Tuck, like being here in the book readings. I recognize even my own growth of being able, like, not able to speak, not being able to really use my voice from the first book readings of season 1. And now to really be able to express my feelings, even if there is fear, even if there is doubt, but then where now I have more tools to bring myself and anchor myself back into who I am and to who I want to be. And so that tonight is just really present for me of how powerful creating our document can be to anchor us in when we start to feel insecure, when we start to allow those subconscious thoughts to take over that really aren't serving us into our greatness and into our well-being. So thank you. Thank you for letting me share.
Fabulous. Thank you. Great saying when you said you can speak even if there is fear. Good God, I remember the first day I got into a book reading. Was that 2 years ago? Yeah. And then she said, Dr. I forgot her name.
Dr. Rain.
Dr. Rain, and I love her. And she said, read. This cold sweat sat all over me. And I said, oh no, I can't. And they were only be maybe at 20, 30 people. And I said, here is I kicking and punching in front of 3,000 US soldiers. And I was fine to do that. And now I can't even open my mouth to it and say, no way, I just can't do it. No. And I didn't know why I was so fearful. Fast forward 2 years later, by just reading this book, constantly having the document, yes, 100%, and see the growth so far and how much more there is more work to do. But at least I've stepped out of that fearful zone that I used to be. So again, it goes back to the book and the document. Thank you for mentioning that, sweetheart.
Yeah. And you know, what's really present to me, Fadi, is the commitment. The commitment that we have both shown in showing up and being present and willing to learn and grow.
100%. 100%. Yes. And that's why I said, you know, I'm older than all of you. And I said, if there is any life on me left, I would be in service for another 20 years. And you can all send me kisses to the heaven when I'm gone. But yeah, absolutely. Thank you,
You're
sweetheart.
only like 25, so you still have like another 90 years to go.
I am moving into Florida. That's good. I love you, girl.
I love you too, honey. Thank you.
Andrea. Yes, darling. What have you got?
Yes. Well, first of all, your yogurt tip. You're like just glowing always. So
You are so sweet. Thank you. Blessings to you.
Yeah. So wow. This today was a real powerful, magical day for me. And yeah, my question that I heard was the same as Tanya. Who would I need to be to step powerfully into my future? Not saying so much. That's one of my pet peeves. I said it again. Damn it. Sorry. It's like a habit. So the power of the mind. Yeah. I said it again. So
It's
what can I
okay.
say instead of that's I know is a filler word. I want to share and so today I saw there was a reflection, there was a rainbow on my floor that was coming through my acrylic chair, and it was really beautiful. And so I just thought, oh, that's really beautiful. So I did a live video, and I just created something fun for the book reading. And then shortly after that, I stepped outside and I see this bee. There's a little bee that flew onto my porch, and he was just doing his thing. And I took a video of him, and I created another video with. Yeah, it was really fun and kind of magical, all these encounters. And then the third one was a robin, a red robin, like, you know, the bird came and for a minute was sitting there, like right in front of me, directly, like looking at me. And so I knew, like, this is a message. And I get messages and signs, as all you know. And this one was through the reading today. I heard mom, 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 like I don't know how many times. And yeah, so it was a message from her. And what else do I have to say? To step powerfully into my future. Oh, the Victor Bach's book. So I have a story with him, a connection with Victor. When my mom was in hospice, Victor and I had scheduled a dance party for the group, and my day to play DJ those 5 songs was, my mom was in hospice, and so I was like, oh, how do I show up? Anyways, I did, and he was there with me the whole way, and I got all kinds of signs. Like there was like a sun halo. Have you ever guys seen like a halo around the sun? It looks like a rainbow. There were 3 of them, like interlocked. Like I was out in the courtyard having this dance party, and there were these 3 sun halos, and it was just like, and then so when I saw the rainbow today and read about Victor, you know, he was there when with my mom. So about stepping into my power and the impact of my thinking. Yeah, I heard today to make it fun, and make it fun, and to be creative. So I was really doing that today, and yeah, it's really wonderful to be in this group and to have the blessing of this book, and to be in daily creation, stepping into who we can be. And I'm just very, 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 very grateful. And I think I'm complete.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your shares. You are very special in our team. You're special in this group. So thank you for your shares, sweetheart. Well, if there's no other shares, is there anything else, Steve, Renee, or Gurpreet, that you'd have in mind and you'd like to share? Anything else for you guys? Steve, anything for you? Oh, Renee, yes, sure.
Yeah, thank you. To be in this group twice a week and sharing and hearing everybody else and listening to the experiences, that just confirms that I found my tribe. So I know, no acknowledgements, but I will be grateful to Wolfgang forever to bring me here.
That's
And
wonderful.
it was the first meeting, the after party for Mumbai, actually, that I instantly felt home, even not being in Mumbai. And I hesitated to come here first because I said, why? I don't know the group. I haven't been here. I haven't been to Mumbai. But I was with Wolfgang mentally on his journey. So yes, I am home. I found my tribe.
Amen.
And I can't wait to meet more of you in person in Arizona and Birmingham.
Oh, yes, you will. You meet a bunch of us. We're going to be there from the Team Talk, lots of us. Yeah.
Good, can't
we look
wait.
forward to meet you. Yes, definitely. That we look forward to meet you, my love. Yes, Steve.
Yeah, just wanted to realize that talking about being is always been or had been very uncomfortable. I'm sharing stuff in this group that I don't really share. I mean, I've been starting to share with my wife more about it, and I know that for me to step powerfully into my future, I have to share more and enroll people, more people. This group has provided me a real solid ground to express myself and to do that. So my stepping powerfully is to really go out there and bring more and create a team based on being. My big goal is to, I'm in a team and have them see themselves as who they choose to be and get them to learn that. And so that's my my stepping powerfully into the future. So that's what I wanted to share as well.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. If we all share and we all invite others, because we get so much out of it. I mean, look at what, it wouldn't be 9,200, it'd be 90,000 people. It'll be 900,000 people, only because we're willing to step out of our comfort zone and share so much. I went to Canada last July, and my high school friend, it was in Canada, and she said, look, you don't talk like before, blah, blah, blah. And we talked about the book, and I had the book and I gave her the book. I took it with me, and she's been reading it, and now she's going through separation, and she goes, I don't want to read anything, but when I see this, and because of me, she keeps on reading the chapter 35 and 36. So it's helping her on that too. And I keep on saying, it's about loving yourself, not because you're separating from somebody else. And this book is helping her. My other friend from Vancouver is on her way as we speak. They're driving from Vancouver to come here because of the snow. And she goes, when I come the first night in your house, I want that book. It's just like what we present to others by our being, what our behaviors, what we share, and how do we show that we're changing and we're growing, that we can be inviting to others. So please, yes, if that would be a brilliant thing if you do. Look how many lives you can save by just inviting them here, and what generation after every person can get resurrected and get rejuvenated from just one person at a time. It's the blessing. So thank you, Steve. Our own Teresa. Yes, ma'am.
Well, what stands out in this chapter to me, and this is really quite a small chapter, but it speaks to me of creative choice. Over and over again, that comes through the sentences. But what made me speak up at this point is I read back over the back page as I was looking at the books, The Law of Success, Napoleon Hill, and then also Victor Bach's book. And then I hit this sentence and it said, it moves Steve to the next level in understanding the power of the mind. And before that, Steve states that he read it many times. So I thought how ironic that the comments that are being made are about what's being taken from this book. And he is in that same chapter that we're talking about, proclaiming his own creative choices in reading Napoleon Hill, giving that to Amy, moving on and with Victor Bach, and seeing those as self-improvements for himself, but also the fact that it's stated he read it many times. So he knows the importance of that. I know the importance of that, but I don't know that had come out of this before. But to me, this chapter speaks of creative choice, even declining a position or realizing it's not for you. That is a choice. That is a creative choice in a person's life. So that's what I take from this chapter. I think it's got more in it than I really thought.
Exactly. Me too. That's why I was just reading it. Oh, okay. It's a small chapter, but that one line, the power of mind, just that is so powerful and it's so immense. And how did I miss it all these times that I read it? And it's great to see. It's like in a good reminder that it doesn't matter that I read it many, many times and I didn't get it. Steve read the book many, many times and didn't get it until he got it. So we're all in this soaring space where we are in our lives by repetition.
But yeah, and it does reinforce that. It does reinforce that. And as humans, we are quick to forget.
Exactly. That's right. Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up. Wonderful. Thank you. Tanya, my love, did you have your hand up? Yes.
No, I didn't have my hand up, but I feel like I'm being called to ask Ken to share. There's something that I'm being called to ask Ken to share. So I don't know if he wants to or not, but I feel it.
Oh, please do want, Ken. Please, you're mute.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
I'll share this with you. Reading this chapter multiple times about how Steve made the wrong choice immediately when he went to Procter and Gamble and he had to get out. I'm reversed. I spent 30 years under a narcissistic supervisor here that destroyed me nearly to the point where I gave everything up. Where I didn't want to be who I wanted to be because I didn't understand who I was at that moment there. I just allowed it to happen and I wanted to leave. I wanted to get out of it here and I just wanted to go off in the sunset with my wife and just live my life the way I needed to be. I nearly let that happen to me. Again, I didn't understand who that being was, what it meant to me, what it was feeling. But I got into Steve's world. I got into this book. And shortly after I got to this book, I retired from that position. I got out of that. And I had to read this over and over and over again and not understanding what it's trying to tell me. What does it mean about being? What does that mean? What outside of me do I need to bring into my life to understand what this being is? But as I keep reading it, and as I keep reading it, I'm reading it about myself. I'm pulling myself away from Steve and I'm putting myself into that world. And one day I got this strong understanding of what it is. Who must I be to get the hell out of my own way? To move on with my own life the way I need to move on with my own life and stop blaming the outside world for what was happening to me. That's who we all are. And then I joined this group, just coming to the book readings because I was invited. And that's the power of all this. I'm here tonight because of one person who invited me to come to this. And since then, who do I must be to not only learn how to grow with every single one of you on this call, but to continue to grow, to stay the hell out of my way after I leave this call. So I could share it beyond this group. So I could share it beyond these walls. I had to get out of my own way, which created another world for me that I was not even expecting. And that is a world to want to live and learn and more spiritually. And we'll leave it at that. Because what's happening with me right now, what's going on with me right now, what I am feeling so right now by stepping out of my own way, everything is coming in and said, okay, we've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for that damn wall to be put down. Now it's down. I still don't fully understand it, but you know what? Reading this and going over this and reading what it means to be, who do I need to be in order to create me every moment to moment to moment to moment to moment.
Amen.
And I also know this. I don't have all the answers, but I'm part of something growing so strongly here that I love to immerse myself into this to help me, to bring me, to create me. And I can't do it by myself. I wasn't going to share this tonight. I wasn't going to do it because I wanted other people to share what they were sharing here. But as I said in the beginning, I'm here to learn and grow through all of you. I'm here to learn from your own stories. I'm here to continue moving on the way I need to move on, because it doesn't stop here. And who do I need to be to continue to take this and this outside of there to create more of this?
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here. For this period of time you've been here, how much I have learned and grown because of you, your knowledge, your passion, your compassion. You and I have had conversations before, but just your beingness, it's so joyful to be with. Your fabulous charisma, the passion that you have when you talk makes me want to jump up and down and say, hey, God, thank you. It's just, you are blossoming and you're lifting definitely me up. I thank you for being here. Thank you for honoring us and joining the team talk. And God, how much I'm learning from you. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you. Thank you all for allowing me to share.
Sure. Thank you all. If there is nobody else to share, so now I can pass it on. Anybody else need to share anything before I move out of the screen and pass it on to our beautiful Elizabeth to close down? I think that is your time, love. Take over.
All right. Thank you so much, Fari. I just want to say thank you so much to Gurpreet this evening and to Renate for sharing and reading. And Steve Shaw, thank you for reading for us tonight. We appreciate that. It's been such an amazing evening. Every book reading is so powerful. This space is unlike any other. And I'm so happy that everyone joined in tonight. Thank you for your shares. Just thank you for being here. We're going to be moving on Sunday to chapter 12, and I'm super excited. Family is such an important thing to me, and it's such an amazing chapter. And Lena is going to be reading for us. Lena, I believe it's Kadru. And for all of our friends across the pond, it's time change for the UK. So we just want to remind everybody, check your clocks, make sure that you're tuning in at the correct time because you don't want to miss this. 10 a.m. Eastern here in the States. It's going to be October 29th on Sunday. And we are just so excited for each and every one of you to be in this space and to grow yourself and your being. And for each and everyone who is interested for the Afterglow, our new branding for the after party, we invite you to join us, to take this sharing just a little bit deeper, to be off camera, just to fill your cup, whatever it is that you need. Be in that space with us. We are ready to party. Thank you everyone for being with us, and I'll see you in the Afterglow. Go ahead and unmute if you want, or allow everybody to unmute and say goodbye.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Good seeing
Bye.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Good
night, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Great
Bye
meeting.
bye.
Steve,
Bye,
Hi,
guys.
as
Thank
always.
you all.
night.
Cheers.
Steve, you rock
Steve,
for
excellent.
sure. You
Well,
do.
Eric, good
Thank you,
seeing you,
Eric.
Eric.
Good seeing you.
Gurpreet,
Bye,
you're
Tom.
Good to see
amazing.
you, Eric.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Steve.
Bye,
Bye.
Fari.